Hello, cozy friends. How are we doing? Welcome back to my Animal Crossing design series, where I'm making what I hope is a permanent island, as someone who's been playing since day one, and has restarted more times than I can count. If you saw the last video, you know that we made this adorable little spring flower market, which I absolutely love. And in that last video, we talked about maybe working on a shopping market above this, but as I was looking over here and also at some cute Pinterest pics, I had another spark of inspiration. Today we're going to be building a massive lake in the middle of our island that basically connects every major area and provides a really aesthetic focal point for visitors. As I start clearing out the area that we'll be using, I'm gonna be honest. In all my islands recently, I've been obsessed with building these. Something about the atmosphere of it being so empty in a way that draws your eyes back to see what's on the other side just speaks to me. So we're keeping it to what I love, but I'm hoping I can also do some different things than I have in the past to shake it up a bit. I also, of course, have to start with the inspiration pics for this area, and again, what I'm going for is that natural look with plenty of terraforming and perfect spots to take photos, or just take in the vibes. If we take a look at the map, I'm hoping that this lake will take up a good portion of this right side, maybe going down from the little outshoot in D4, up to C5, and then wrapping around and ending around C or D6. So after starting the deforestation process of a good chunk of my island, where I needed to beg Timmy and Tommy for 3 axes, and after cleaning up all the wood and fruit those trees dropped, I was finally ready to get started. Well, almost. In the middle of picking everything up, my ADHD kicked in, and I wanted to see how far back my lake could go, with it still being able to see to the other side. So I picked a tree in the background that I thought would be a good marker, and after some very scientific calculations, I saw that we can make my lake roughly 25 to 30 tiles wide. With that in mind, I wanted to start continuing to build up this river I made near my entrance, because I thought it would be cute to have this river at the start loop around as much of the island as I can. I also wanted this lake to loop around to the right, then back to the left to put another bridge like the one at the entrance, so it almost hides the lake from the view at resident services. After what seemed like hours making a somewhat natural looking curve in the river, it was also time for the dreaded diagonal bridge test. I don't know what it is about placing bridges at an angle in this game that I just can never seem to get, but to my surprise, all that practice has finally paid it off and I got it first try. Feeling very confident after that, I then went right back to my indecisive ways, wondering how to connect the river where the lake would be, and then also to everything else on this island. I thought about it more and realized I used the bridge here to almost hide the lake in a way, so it'd be more of a shock to see it, so I decided to block off the area to the left around resident services, so you would have to go across this bridge to get here. This also made seeing where to start the lake a lot easier, and so I started the very long process of clearing out the land piece by piece. Being overwhelmed by this task, I made a general outline first that I liked, and then worked tirelessly to fill in the rest with water. And while past me is doing all that hard work, I thought this would also be a good time to talk about my plans for this island. So we've already completed the entrance and the little flower market, and we know the shopping district will go above that. Then I'm thinking the area above the district, wrapping all the way around my lake in the back, will be my residential and camping area. I really love making more natural looking residential areas that go across multiple levels, but in the spirit of doing what we love and changing it a bit, I want to make more designated paths and yards for each resident to almost give more character to each village or house, so I'm super excited about that. Alright, quick break in my talk about the plans now to watch past Legolas destroy almost all of this cliff in a painstaking process. But anyway, then below the lake and across the bridge at my entrance, I want to then make a massive flower garden with every color and breed of flower in the game I want to get naturally. I actually did this on my first ever ACNH island back in 2020, so it didn't look the best, but I loved the dedication I put in to get all the flowers, maybe except the blue roses, and display multiple of each color and breed in a really aesthetic way. That project will obviously also take so many in-game days, and I haven't found a good way to document that process yet, so if any of you have a fun way I could show my progress and then decorating that area, please let me know down in the comments. Now that you also know my grand plans for the island, and now that I'm done spending way too long terraforming to even begin decorating this area, I mapped out the last area of where the lake would end and filled the rest with water. When looking at the map, I think I did a great job with my goal for the size of the lake, and to make sure that people get the best view of it they can, I also decided to terraform a cliff to overlook everything in front of it. And after feeling happy about that and wanting to decorate some of the cliff sides for this video, I also had the idea to build a double incline entrance into the side of the resident area to give a grand scale to the side of the lake. Once that was outlined, I thought it would be a good idea to also build a little bit more of the bottom section of the lake to put plants, flowers, and other decor to see from the other side, and then also build some waterfalls from those cliffs to add some natural elements that I loved how they turned out. I also thought it would be a really cute idea to see one of the villager houses from the other side of the lake, so I marked out an area for their yard I want everyone to have, but by the end of this video you'll see you can't really see it from where I placed it, but that's okay because I still really love how it's all turning out. From here, the main parts of the lake and cliffs were done, so now it came to my least favorite part, putting down the paths. I don't know why I dread this part so much, but I think it just makes it feel so permanent in my mind, and I also wanted to push myself with this pathing to make it different from what I usually do. Typically, when I get to make the more natural elements of my island, I go for a more natural, the path look. But I'm wanting to do a better job at blending the more city path that I'm using and the natural paths that I'm using. So this was especially hard for me. I think this area around the bridge looks so cute though, and I think I did, I'll say, a decent job at blending everything. The one area I'm really back and forth on though that I need your help with is the viewpoint cliff. Again, I would normally go for a cottagecore vibe for this, but thought it could make a really cute area for a drink shop / sitting area. So I did go with the city path, but I can't tell if it looks too uniform for a pretty cliffside overlooking a lake. So put city down in the comments if you think this path and vibe should stay, or put cottagecore if you think I should change it to more of a natural look. After that, it was really just a few days of waiting to put in inclines and letting everything grow that we finally got to this point. I am so happy with how this lake turned out. I loved the big open feel you get when you cross that bridge and how natural everything still feels. Of course, there's still so much work to do with this path that will eventually lead down to the flower garden, and more villager houses and decorations on more of the cliffs as we build those areas out, but just seeing what we've done so far has me even more excited to keep working. As always, please like this video and subscribe if you're not to see more, but until next time, I will talk to you so soon, cozy friends.